Good afternoon, evening to everyone, no matter, depending on where you're at, I guess. I am Sean in Alaska, and welcome to this week's episode of A Little Bit of Live Chat. I actually have to do this on the laptop because somehow yesterday I fried my television. I have no idea how I did that. But the way I like to do this is I like to say hello to everybody that comes in. If you've got a question, by all means, ask it. If I skip over it and you see in the chat that I missed it, do me a favor and put it in caps. That way it jumps right out at me. And I guess right now, I haven't seen anybody say that the audio or video is not good. So I'm hoping everything's working good. Everything looks okay. Thumbs up. Well, 5x5. How's the audio? How's the video? I think it's pretty clear. And my chat froze. Oh, well. We'll jump back up to the top and I'll start saying hello to everybody here. And I like to keep this at right at an hour. And just in case, I've got my bonus eyes with me in case I need them to read the names. But then they're going to be sitting here most of the time anyway, so I probably won't even wear those. Way up at the top here, though, the first comment I saw when I came in was this young lady, Victoria. Wait, Miss Vicky, awesome to see you. Glad you can make the live. I have not seen you, and I do not know how long. Next time I get back home into Tuolumne County, I definitely would love to get together with you. We'll get together, go do lunch, do something, just have a ton of fun. And I have not forgot about your seasonings. I just have not gotten around to doing it. I'm terrible about that. I need to find a container I can send them to you in, but I will send you down some seasonings before grilling season gets way too much upon us there. Gil from Camp Patton Family Homestead and Gray Man Prepping. Awesome to have you here. Thanks for popping in with both of them. That always helps. That's an extra viewer for me, right? Scrappy Cat made it in. Canadian Jerry, awesome to have you here, my friend. Thank you again very much. You have no idea how awesome that was. No idea how awesome that was for me. Scrolling on through here. Rich Wells, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And that coffee, I'm telling you what, man. Rich roasts his own coffee, and he made a mistake of telling me he did it. And he's got some ready for me, and he's going to send me some up. But more importantly, he's got a stovetop coffee roaster, that he's going to send me the link for. And I am fired up about that because one thing I have always wanted to do is roast my own coffee. I thought that would be so super cool to do. I can get it exactly the way that I want it. That would be kind of fun to try. So if I do get the stovetop coffee roaster, I am going to do a batch, and I definitely will record it. Maybe we'll do a contest. If it comes out good and I get enough of it, maybe I'll send somebody a bag of coffee out of the deal. Sunshine is on vacation. She is an Alaskan, and she's down visiting family in Idaho, and she's rubbing it in that it is like super warm there. And we are at 42 degrees Fahrenheit here. This morning when I drove to town, it was 22 degrees. Still getting a bit chilly at night, but not bad. We can live with it. It's good. Sunshine, it's good to see you. JD from SC, my friend, how are you this fine Sunday? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Just flipping through here quick to say hello to everybody. David at Twilight Life Cabin. If you guys have not had a chance to do so, check out Dave at Twilight Life Cabin. Brand new YouTuber and doing some neat stuff. I like Dave's video. The one thing that I thought was super cool was I have never had chaga. I've never harvested it. I've seen it on trees, and I've meant to go out and do it, but for one reason or another, I've never done it. And Dave got some chaga and made some chaga tea out of it, and I was pretty jealous about that. I thought that was a great video to watch. So there you go, rubbing it in. 66 degrees, man. 66 would be just incredible here. Natasha, glad you can make it. Awesome to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Deborah Starling from Northeast Texas, where it's 81 and breezy. My windows would be open if it was 51 and breezy. Most definitely. And somehow, Dave, you're going to need to take a picture, or Rich, you're going to take a picture of this for us so that we can see what your phone looks like after you're done eating your teriyaki chicken. I can't eat anything and use my phone because that screen will just be a mess when I'm done. I'm getting caught up here. Charles and Annalyn, awesome to have you guys stop by. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Jim at Woolly Rhino Adventures, another great channel. Check him out, folks. Jim's moving up to Alaska, or we'll be back up in Alaska in the next couple of weeks. And then his partner and buddy and friend of mine now, Bill from Lone Moose, Alaska, will be moving up here permanently as well this year, building his place. Jim's already built his place, but Bill's going to be moving up here and building his place. So it's going to be an exciting summer for building for YouTubers, I guess, in Alaska. Right, Deborah. Hey, Sean, good to see the spring thaw in my neck of the woods. We are starting to thaw out pretty darn well. I've been sitting out at the campfire the last couple of nights. I'm going to barbecue another burger again tonight because I unfortunately bought a 4-pack of ciabatta rolls and I have to eat them all. So I'm doing a cheeseburger every night. Last night was bacon cheeseburgers. But yeah, it's melted. And even though we were 22 degrees this morning, just before I went live here, I had to walk out and make sure everything was connected right to the generator. And the water is already starting to flow again today. So the melt is on big time here. Wendy Benjamin, glad you can make it. Awesome to see you. Thanks for joining me. Miss Karen DeGuider, how are you? And glad to see that you made it this week. Awesome to have you here. Expecting snow in Nova Scotia. This is like the winter that didn't want to end, right? This is like the winter that said, no, I'm not leaving yet. But be at ease. It will be gone soon enough. Amy Broussard from Broussard Homestead. So they go live on Thursday nights, and I always try to jump in. My problem is that usually Thursday night now with the Friday video release, I'm editing video. So I don't get in there as early as I'd like to anymore because they have great lives and they're a ton of fun. But Amy's husband, Brett, right here at Broussard Homestead, every time I go into their lives, Brett will look at Amy and goes, look, his name is Sean, and he's from Alaska. Well, every once in a while he'll say, hey, Sean in Alaska, do me a favor, tell us your name and tell us where you're from. And I always say I'm Steve in Utah. So that's where that came from. Built on the Rock Homestead. Awesome to have you here. Glad you can make it. And yes, definitely, folks, if you hit the thumbs up, it suggests the stream to other people, and it makes the live streams a little more popular. And there's 37 in here right now from what I can see. 40 now we just went to. And I just like to think that this is a ton of fun because we keep it really, really light. I'll answer pretty much any questions you want. We stay away from politics, religion, basically the stuff you don't want to discuss at your family Christmas or you'll know there'll be a fight. So other than that, share information between each others. Ask me any questions you want. But we like to keep it light and fun and have a good time in here. Bear Fraz, glad you could make it. Awesome to see you here. Ali G, glad you could make it as well. Thanks for joining. And Arthur from Deep South Alabama. You're going to be up here next month, I think, my friend, and we definitely have to get together. I don't know with the way that the melt is going when I'm going to start building because right now the ground is still frozen solid and there's still quite a bit of snow over part of the area for the pad where I didn't clear it all out with the snow blower. Bad on me. I should have kept that whole area clear like I did the driveway, but oh well. So I don't know where I'm at, but definitely I want to get together when you get up here. Jillian Templeton. Welcome, Jillian. Thanks for stopping by today. Big Bear Prepper, thanks for jumping in. Good to see you. It's kind of nice because the number of people that I have in this live makes it possible for me to scroll through and say hi to everybody. So I'm going to, Wendy Benjamin says I was 5x5 from Start. Good. Well, at least I got that one answer. Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. Scotty did a video today. It's only about 9 minutes long. So you guys definitely, Scotty, share the link for your video on your channel. He took ribeye steaks, ground them fresh in his kitchen, and made a ribeye hamburger. And I'm telling you what, I'm having a cheeseburger tonight, and it won't taste as good now because it's not ribeye, but it looked yummy, yummy, yummy. So definitely check out that. It's like I said, it's 9 minutes long, and Scotty does some really neat stuff on his channel. If you want to learn how to grill, do any kind of pit food whatsoever, check out Scotty because you guys will learn something on his videos. Kristen, glad you could make it. Real quick, cooking dinner. Hopefully we'll catch you in. Okay, hopefully you will too, but if not, that's fine. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Hope your dinner is excellent. Destiny Fitzgerald, glad you could make it. Awesome to see you here this evening. Michigan Daffodil jumped in as well. Thank you very much for joining me. Leslie Lindsay, glad to see you. Awesome you could be here. Scrolling through. Man, it's a lot harder to see it here than it is to see it there. So you know what I'm doing this week, right? I'm going to go buy another TV. Because I only use the TV for this and for editing video. So I definitely have to get another TV, another monitor. I'm just scrolling through real quick here. Darth Vader. Glad you could make it. That was my invitation to Darth Vader. All right, I think I'm kind of caught up here. Scroll on down now. I'm at the final screen. Marcus, my friend. Awesome to see you. Glad you could make it tonight. You guys are eating supper while listening? Wait, Amy. You know what that means, right? You have to tell us what you guys are having for dinner. Well, you did. Made some of our own Cajun seasoning, pan-fried chicken. Ooh, yum. Sauteed zucchini. I love sauteed zucchini. I'm a huge fan of that. Liz Weekly, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Alaska's Last Frontier Cabin. Awesome, my friend. Now can I start over from the beginning? You know, the nice thing is that you can go back and watch this 3 or 4 times in a row, and then you won't miss anything. Because I do leave these on the channel for anybody who wants to go by and watch them. And I was told by a lot of different folks, sipping my iced tea here, that it was a waste of time to leave the lives on my channel, but they're all in the live playlist. And it amazes me how many people actually go back and watch it again, or watch it for the first time on the playlist because they couldn't watch it live, and that is super, super cool. So I'm going to leave them there forever. Whiskey Harbor, welcome, my friend. Glad you can make it. Elizabeth Rojas, how are you, Elizabeth? Good to see you. How's the ladies doing? Chicken update? The chickens are doing fantastic. I didn't go out and collect eggs yet today. I'm going to do that as soon as the live's over. I'm going to go out and fire up the barbecue and go out and collect the eggs. But I checked on their water this morning when I got back from doing laundry in town, and had a thin layer of ice on top of it. I just broke it up with my finger, but they were all outside by that time anyway, so they're doing great. One of the things that I'm doing this time of the year, because I have the extra straw that I bought that I use in the inside of their coop, is right inside the gate, I just throw a whole bunch of fresh straw, and they'll sit there for hours just digging through it and scratching it and playing around with it. So they're doing fantastic. Super healthy, super happy. Haven't had any issues with them at all. Yeah, right? It's a cheeseburger weather. I love a good cheeseburger. I really, really do. Rokon Montana, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Ooh, Liz is doing halibut and sweet potato fries for supper. Yum. That is not a bad meal. Right on. Joe, very cool. Watching through Roku on the big screen. You know, I never thought I would hear anything about that. And now that I've got quite a few of you in here right now, I'll let you know that you can get a double dose of me this week if you didn't see it on the community tab. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on, same time, from 3 until however long Sean wants me, on North Shore Preparedness, my buddy Sean's channel, and the link is in the community tab, and then I'll share it on the Facebook page tomorrow as well, and probably my personal Facebook page. But he wants to do a question and answer thing. It'll be kind of fun to see what kind of questions he comes up with for me. Always a great group of people in there. Matter of fact, if somebody gets a chance, could you post Sean's link for North Shore Preparedness in here? So if you're not subscribed to Sean, talk about a positive guy. Pretty sarcastic when he does his lives and he goes on a rant, but a ton of fun. And you'll be able to catch me there tomorrow at this same exact time as well. So it'll be Monday from 3 until, I don't know if he's going to go an hour. He normally goes a couple of hours, and I don't know how long he's going to have me on there with him, but it should be a good time, should be fun. And you might get questions answered that you didn't even think of, because he's pretty good about asking the questions. Michigan Down. Sean, I'm going to look for a manual coffee grinder on Tuesday when you go to Shipshewana, Indian. I don't know where that is, and I don't think that I pronounced that right, but you will love a hand coffee grinder. And the reason why I say you'll love that is because it doesn't matter whether you have power or not. If you have a hand coffee grinder, right, and coffee beans, and you have a French press, and you have the ability to heat water, power outages don't mean anything anymore, because from that point forward, you have coffee. That's all that matters. Right on. You hatched 4 chicks this week. Very cool. I'm not there with my chicken life yet. Eventually, I'm hoping next year to be trying to hatch some of my own birds. But I am increasing the size of the flock, which is super, super exciting to me. And we'll see where we go from there. I'm trying to get something that's going to be finally self-sustainable, to where I don't have to keep buying new birds every year, where they'll take care of themselves. Am I firing up the barbecue in case there are no eggs? No, but last year when they were really taking their time to start laying, I picked up a package of chicken thighs and I threw it out there and put it on the grill, and I walked over with the plate and showed it to them, and I said, you better start laying eggs. And miraculously, the next day I had eggs. So I think they understood. We have an understanding of the chickens, and I do. Yeah, I get a lot of people that do, and I think that's super cool. And that's why I leave them there. And I also set it up so that The live chat will replay as well, because there'll be a lot of links in the discussion that we have for an hour, and it gives other people a chance to say, oh man, I didn't write that down, what was the name of that again? And they can just go back and find that link, and boom, click on it and get right to where they want to go. The big reason I like putting the lives on the channel is so we can go back and look for other YouTube links. Yep, exactly. Right. That's exactly it. You know, so that everybody that has a channel, hopefully will get shared while this live is going on, while they're in here. And I encourage you guys, by all means, to go out and check these other channels out. I'm not saying subscribe to everybody, because there are channels that, I have looked at and said, that's really not for me. But you'd be surprised how many channels you'll look at and you'll go, wow, that's a cool channel. I want to learn more about them. So that's another big reason for all the links here while we're doing the lives. And I don't get in trouble for it. At least I haven't. So we'll just keep doing it until we can't do it anymore. There used to be an easy function in the lives where you could right click on it and go to that channel. But they took that away. Oh, well, that happens. That's right, Amy. It will be a double dose of Sean. It will be Sean and Sean. Dueling Seans. I might actually have my banjo at the beginning of that and start plucking away a little bit. And when he says, what am I doing? I'll just say, it was Dueling Seans tonight, I thought. Wow, I said it correctly. Nice. That's from all those years of audiobooks right there, folks. I'm not afraid to say it. I listen to a good book every day. Elizabeth, I don't know if we'll be answering. We will. I'm sure Sean will see questions in the chat if you're talking about his chat. I'm sure Sean will see questions in the chat and then let me know. I can't, when I'm doing this, when I'm streaming, I don't have the ability to keep another window open and watch the chat, because then my video gets terrible. But I'm sure there will be. Jerry Coffee makes all of us a better person. I hope you guys didn't mind that I threw me making coffee into the beginning of that first video, because there's been a lot of comments and a lot of questions about, what do you mean you get up and you grind your coffee every morning? And so I got to tell you that since I started doing that, I probably will never do it another way again. That is the freshest cup of coffee you can possibly get. The only thing that will make it fresher is if I can roast the beans myself. And Rich is going to see to it that I learn how. So yeah, I will eventually here. I'll be roasting my own beans and grinding my own fresh coffee in the morning. I can't see how it could get any better. Oh, okay. It's an Amish community. Very cool. Very cool. Good people. The Amish people are just awesome people. I have so much crochet to do, to keep me busy all year winter. nice. I like it. And I could be saying I like that because I hopefully will be, somebody who will receive some of that crochet, Lisa K, glad you can make it. Awesome to see you. A blizzard again in Ohio last night. Wow, crazy. That is crazy. The Sean and Sean show. Now all we need is somebody who spells his name S-H-A-U-N, and then we can have the three Seans. That would be like the three amigos, right? That would be funny. That would be funny to have the three versions of it. And I have to think at this point that cousin is an incredible human being, because I have not met a Sean yet that was not an incredible human being. Personally met. I'm sure there's some out there that I haven't met that aren't good. But personally, every Sean I know is awesome. Wow, yeah, you're in Eugene, Oregon. Past 3 days, farm fresh eggs selling for $7 a dozen. That is nuts. That you could actually buy farm fresh eggs here for $6 a dozen. I sell them for $5 for an 18-pack, just because everybody I sell to I know, and it more than pays for the feed and the any other expenses I have for the chickens. One thing I am doing is I'm keeping all the receipts so that at the end of the year I'll let you guys know how much the chickens profited and how much they cost me to keep going forward from the point where they started laying eggs. So from the point where they really started picking up their egg production again, I'll give you guys a running total on that at the end of the year and let you know. But that's nuts. $7 a dozen. Ouch. Rich says, Nouveau Eco Ceramic Candy Coffee Bean Roaster on Amazon for $30.10. Okay, I'm going to check it out. Definitely. Thank you, Rich. I will definitely check it out. Good. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed that. You should have. It took me much longer to make my coffee that morning. So the first thing that I drink every morning when I get up, and I'm not a sponsor of the product, I'm not trying to sell the product or anything, but if you ever seen advertisements for this stuff called Super Beets, and it's beet powder. So that's what you saw me pour the water in the red cup. Then I put that scoopful in there, and then I took that little hand blender I've got and whip it up frothy really good, so I really oxygenate the heck out of it. And then I take my vitamins, and I take thyroid medication. So I take my vitamins and my thyroid pill in the morning and slam that down, and I get all of that done in the time that it takes that pot of water to boil. So I drink the beet powder, beet juice basically, and it raises the nitric oxide levels in your blood, which opens up your capillaries and veins, and it really has been awesome for my focus. And it basically wakes me up almost instantly. So I start the water boiling, drink the beet juice, grind the coffee, set it up in the French press, and I get all of that done before the water even boils. So it's actually pretty quick, pretty fast process every morning for me. But that is my every morning process, whether I'm going to work or I'm staying home. Cool. Glad you thought it was interesting. Very cool. See, I can see this is not going to end well because I learned how to make beer pretty much as I took one class from a professional brewer and then started doing it myself at home. And it doesn't matter how good the beer is that I buy now; it's never as good as the beer that I make. And we'll get back into that again when I get into the cabin and I have a full kitchen that I could do that with. That is the first name I thought of when I thought of Shaun. We're showing our age there, Michigan Daffodil. We're showing how old we are. Ways to spell Sean. Nice. I like this. Okay, so this first one right here, you can't see it with my mouse, but the very first one is the Irish spelling. Well, yes and no. So my way of spelling and this one right, and that first one are both the Irish way of spelling the word. Uh, and there's a bunch of different other ways to spell it too. Your older sister was a Sean? Nice. My youngest brother is a Jody. Oh gosh. I made a faux fur neck warmer for me last night and just started a turtleneck hoodie. So I'm going to have like a caption on next year's winter videos of wardrobe provided by Julian Templeton. It is, yeah. I do like the good old fashioned percolator, the old campfire um, coffee pot, and I will use that during the summer as well, just because I don't like to do a whole lot of cooking inside the house in the summer because it's just too nice out, and it gets way too warm in here. Speaking of your girls, work not so remote Alaska for Mike to mill lumber for a coop. Oh, right on, very cool. An Alaskan micro grant? I didn't know we had one of those. You need to send me info on that. Um, I'm not ready to do anything with that this year, but if they have it and I can get a link to it, or maybe I'll check out the state website, natural. I don't know if it'd be Natural Resources website or the Ag Department. But Alaska does have a ton of grants for Alaskans who are trying to either farm or raise livestock. There's a USDA federal grant for a hoop house. A hoop house is basically a giant greenhouse, super tall. Simple Living Alaska built their own, but we actually have grants where the feds will pay for the whole thing because of Alaska's remote location, and to get ourselves more food security for the area so that we're not so dependable on trucking and ships to get our food here to the state. You would pay $7 a dozen for brown eggs, and the chickens that I have, I won't have chickens that don't lay brown eggs. To me, brown eggs scream home fresh eggs. Even though people say there's no difference in the flavor, I swear there is. So, and it could just be a psychosomatic thing. I see the brown and I automatically associate it with that. But yeah, I'm the same way. I love brown eggs. Yeah, it costs me. I buy mine at GNC, and again, I'm not plugging them, but it costs like $30, and I use one scoop a day. They say don't do more than two scoops a day. I don't know why. There's no real medical things I've seen that would hurt you. But I just use one of the little scoops a day, and it lasts me well over a month. And when you think about it, it's less than $1 a day. What do you pay for your vitamins? Same kind of thing. And I've enjoyed it. You better like beets though, because even though it's cherry flavored, you'll get a flavor of beets out of it. And I love beets, so it's not a big deal for me. I love that. Finer than frog's hair. I've used that for years. I love that term. System or routine. So I'm going to turn this into a question. Everybody on here that's watching this right now more than likely watches all the videos and understands that I live off the grid. If you don't have a system or a routine in place and you live off the grid, you will be struggling every day. For the first couple of weeks that I was on this property, man, I felt like an idiot. I felt like a moron because nothing was going right. And then I started getting myself into a rigid routine and structure of what I would do every day, and life is much easier. There's a lot more things that you have to take into consideration when you're doing this, obviously, and a system and a routine greatly help. Madhunanda, welcome. Thank you for joining me again. I hope I got that name right again this time. I think I got it right the last time. Welcome from Los Angeles, California. My daughter was telling me, speaking of California, both of my daughters, my youngest daughter's has my granddaughter, and it was her birthday this week. She turned 2. So she was having the birthday party this weekend for all the family to show up. And it happens to be, and I'll say it now, my ex-father-in-law's birthday today. Dale, happy birthday to you. If you see this, I don't know if you guys will have this on in the background, but happy birthday to you, sir. Sorry I couldn't be down there with you guys to enjoy this. But my oldest daughter was driving from where she lives up to her sister's place for the birthday party. And she paid $100 and something to fill up her truck today to get up there. And I'm like, ouch, California's gas prices. Ouch. They are more expensive for gasoline than we are in Alaska. Now, there's other reasons for that, but ouch, crazy. Richard Young, welcome, my friend. I'm having a great day. I hope you are as well. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. I used to brew my own beer, but have gotten away from it. Hopefully by next summer I start brewing again. It's fun. It's really, really, I find that and I don't know if you folks are out there are like this or not. Let me know. But I find that when I do something for myself, like brew beer, I actually drink less of it because I savor the product more. So I guess for somebody who doesn't drink, the other thing would be, okay, so say you make your own salsa, right? And you can your own salsa and everything. Do you find yourself gorging yourself on the salsa, or is it now just a treat for you? Is it something that you want to eat sparingly so that you don't run out before you have a chance to do another batch? I'd be curious how you guys felt about that. But brewing beer is like that for me. One, Minoxidil. Wait an hour between thyroid meds and anything else, including coffee. Yeah. So I've been taking thyroid meds now for, 24, 25 years. And it's been an issue with just about everybody in my family. Don't know what caused it. And the rule when I first started taking it was thyroid meds 1 hour before. But taking it or 1 hour before you eat anything. But for me personally, again, I'm not a doctor. Thyroid meds, as long as you're not eating food, generally you can do anything you want. You can drink water. You can, I could do that beet juice. I could do whatever I want, and it does not affect how it lasts in me. I do go get my blood tested once a year, and my numbers are always right in line, and I don't change my routine on the day I go get my blood tested. So on the day I go get my blood tested, I do the same thing I do here every day. I have my morning coffee. I have the beet juice. I take my vitamins. I eat my meals. The only thing I don't do is I don't eat a meal before the blood work. So that's the only thing I do differently, and it comes back perfectly fine. So I guess doctors have differing opinions on different things, but it hasn't been an issue for me. How much are people willing to pay for farm-raised blue? I don't know. Those, I guess they're called Easter eggers. I've never bought them. I would have a hard time stomaching the green eggs and blue eggs. I would just be thinking Dr. Seuss, right? Green eggs and ham, blue eggs and ham. Sean Cassidy was hung on every girl's bedroom wall from that era, just like Farrah Fawcett was hung on every bedroom wall of every boy. Yeah, so my dad's name is John. And we used to joke that Sean means John in Irish and John means Sean in Irish. So that was like a running gag with our family. Scott, I like Folgers instant coffee. You say that now, dude, but you're gonna figure a way to smoke coffee beans on one of your grills, and you are never gonna go back. It's gonna be over. Nice, Leslie. Another Sean. Very cool. Built on the Rock Homestead. I crochet when I was a kid. They can relearn it and make headbands. My mom is a knitted for years when we were kids growing up, but she got into crochet, and my ex-wife was the same way. Just and they could be watching a television show and just sitting there and making, just going mad with their freaking hands and not even paying attention to what they're doing, and it always amazed me. It always amazed me. Okay, now we got a price here. Fresh roasted, unroasted, organic Sumatra, fair trade, 5 pound bag for $47.95 goes a long way. Okay, and I will look at all of that too, definitely. Yep, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they all taste the same. I'm sure that with me, it's just a mental thing that I see brown. But I say that, yet when I bought eggs from the store, I could tell the difference between, say, a jumbo egg, and I'm not counting about the size, but the flavor, between a jumbo or a large egg and a brown egg. I could tell a difference in the flavor. Now, that could be because the only brown eggs we carried at the store at the time were organic brown eggs. So it could be that they were organic, and that's what made the flavor different. There is, right, Gil? There's a huge learning curve going off the grid, and I'm still learning now. And this is my what? October was the end of my first year, so I'm on. That was my second winter. This is my second full year off grid, and still, there are things that I shake my head at that I do wrong still to this day. For example, the TV. I've had that for a while now, but I'm pretty sure that happened because I'm powering it off the generator, and I didn't have an inverter between the two. So I'm going to need to look at how I can do that differently. But yeah, you're learning all the time doing it. Ouch. 6.59 a gallon for gasoline. I filled up my truck. I fill up my truck on Thursdays. Again, routines, right? Payday's Thursday. So what does Sean do? Sean fills up his truck on Thursday, and I also get my slice of pizza at Big John Chevron on K Beach. That's a plug for them because they got great pizza. But at 4.79 a gallon for gasoline here in Alaska, I couldn't imagine $6.59. That's crazy. That is nuts. Wow. Right? Yeah. Scotty, you've made homemade beer. It's good stuff. Jerry says, Sean, I was at my buddy's farm in his workshop. It's at a 1920s banjo Lynn. I'm cleaning it up. I have a new goatskin head for it. Oh, I can't wait to see it, Jerry. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be fantastic. I play the banjo poorly, very poorly. But it was like the first instrument I wanted to learn to play because when I was a kid, one of the most popular songs on the country radio, because that's all we ever listened to, that's all my dad ever listened to, so my brothers and I all listened to that too, was dueling banjos. And I always wanted to learn how to play that song, not knowing that it was actually a banjo and a guitar and then a banjo. There was more to it than just that. But yeah, I took lessons. I learned how to play a little bit. I can still pick it up, and I do. I learned what they call double thumbing technique. So it's pick a string, thumb, pick a string, thumb, and then I hadn't played for like 15 years or 20 years, something like that. Somebody had one in an after-hours bar that I went to, and I picked it up, and a couple of minutes later, I was actually plucking away at it again. So the first chance I had to get another one, I did. And I've got a banjo, a guitar, a mandolin. What else do I have? Banjo, guitar, mandolin. Oh, and a fiddle. Want to keep them all in good shape, get them all tuned up. That way, if anybody shows up around the campfire, once I get everything situated here, they can play an instrument. I'll hand it to them and let them play. I want to learn myself, though, so that's a future goal for me as well. Julie Cleary, the feisty grandma, glad you could make it. Awesome to have you here. I don't know At this point, I don't recall what it is. I think it's underactive because it was the one that made me gain a lot of weight, and slow, and my metabolism was really really slow. Uh, I don't know if that's hyper or hypo, but I take Armor Thyroid for it. If that tells you what it is. He said, right? We all have our preferences. She likes the green eggs first, then the brown, then the white. Have I done any hunting yet? So, good question, because I was actually chatting with a subscriber that was communicating to me via the Facebook page. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, I invite you to join me over there. Um, I have hunted, but I have never hunted in Alaska. And the reason for that is I don't need the meat. So I will not hunt for something if I don't plan on eating the harvest. There's just no reason for me to do it. I will take my gun out and shoot it all the time at targets, just having fun. But I have not hunted up here. And again, I don't need the meat. The animals are huge. In next week's video, you will see, and I'll give you a teaser here. In the drive from my house to town were five. I think I counted 5 moose that we saw right on the road. Me and you, because you'll see them there on the camera. And I think I got a picture of one of them standing up full size. They're bigger than my truck. There's no way I'm going to go through that much meat. So there's no reason for me to harvest an animal that I'm not going to use 100% myself. That's me personally. Now, fish, on the other hand, I fish. And one salmon, I could eat one salmon. 5 salmon, I can can those salmon or smoke those salmon and eat them later. And I do. And I have friends that will, like I keep my freezer over at Brother Will's house. And we've discussed this before. His wife, Barb, will tell Will, hey, get some salmon out and throw it on the grill. And he'll par cook it, and then she'll use it to make salmon dip out of it. And we'll have salmon dip all year long. So, answer to that question, I do hunt. I have not hunted in Alaska. Elizabeth wants to know, what are the benefits of beet juice? Apparently, it raises the nitrous oxide levels in your blood. Nitrous or nitric oxide levels, which allows for better circulation, from what I was told. All I know is it works great for me. Mary, good to see you. Well, if you haven't left already and you still see this, or you see it on replay, tell your mom I said hi. Right? Exactly. They should have gotten together. It was a match made in heaven, but no, she had to have the $6 million man, Lee Majors. Ah, you see, Jillian was a David Cassidy fan. The Partridge Family. I'm telling you, you can't stop me on this stuff, folks. This nostalgia trivia from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That was my time. I lived then. Henry Leslie, Vermont. Awesome to have you here. Good to see you, my friend. From the banks of Chase Brook. Very cool. Mary says she can knit with her eyes shut. See, I don't know how you can do that. I don't. Well, okay. So, for anybody who doesn't know, I grew up in a bakery as a baker for my father, and I make donuts. And I can make donuts while I'm asleep. Now, before you say that you can't make, my brothers a couple of times laughed at me and said, "What in the heck?" and yelled at me because I was standing on the bench. We were all younger, and of course, we never slept during the day like we were supposed to. And I had literally fallen asleep, and I was grabbing cinnamon roll donuts, throwing them on the bench, smashing them out, putting them on the screen. And the only reason why they knew I was asleep was because all of a sudden there were no more screens and no more donuts, and I was still doing it. So, but man, I guess if you do something enough times repetitiously like that, you can do it. That's crazy. I'm just amazed at people who create anything. Thorhaven Farm, Bridget over at Thorhaven Farm has a loom, and she weaves. And so she had a series of, now by all means, I am not interested in ever having a loom and weaving, but she set up the loom, and she had like a series of 3 or 4 videos that I could not stop watching of how she went through and set that loom up, how she loaded the thread, the wool onto that loom, and then how she started running the shuttlecock. And I actually know all the parts of it because I grew up, in an era where we learned about that stuff. But I was fascinated by it. Yes, JD, I have. I've got some wood that I'm buying from a previous project that the guy is pricing out for me now, and he'll let me know the new value, and then I'll make an offer on it. But They haven't changed that much in the last week or so up here. So it's pretty much the same ballpark. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to buy all the lumber for the subfloor, for the framing. I mean, basically all of everything I'm going to need for the framing package in one shot. And then I'm going to go back and I'll pick up the sheathing for the outside of the house and for the roof and stuff on a second purchase. You know, I will. I will roast it outside. But I will tell you that I have been around coffee roasting before, and I have no problem with that smell. But that burnt coffee smell, I love it. It's crazy yummy. Yeah, your guys' went. It's going down everywhere. California's got a different reason why their gasoline is so much more expensive than a lot of other states right now and a lot of other areas. And you know, it's taxes. They voted an additional tax on their gasoline, and it's really coming back to bite them. This is like a perfect storm for gas prices in California, and it's a sad thing because the state is pretty vast, and while there are big cities that people live in, um, or that people work in, a lot of people don't live in those big cities and they commute back and forth. So the cost of fuel is ridiculous. Kristen's back. Welcome back, Kristen. Cozy Corner. Glad you can make it. Awesome to see you. Right? Definitely scare away the tourists and the neighbors. I am thinking I'm going to tweak the plan a little bit to have a bit of a porch on the front, but I had always planned on having a deck on the side that goes off and looks towards the Kenai Mountains. So I would like to put a bit of a porch on there. Yeah, having a homestead means having equipment. I'm always breaking mine. Yeah, right. It's crazy, and it could be the most simple equipment in the world. The other day, you know, the freeze is coming, and I know you guys have seen me chipping away at ice and everything else. So I know that a lot of stuff that was still on the ground is still frozen to the ground. But I wasn't thinking about it, and I went to grab a rock rake, you know, one of the big tine heavy metal rakes that you use for moving rock around. And I went to grab it, and I just grabbed the handle and went to pull it back and snapped it off because it was stuck in the ice. So I'll be buying a new tool there. Crazy. Rich Wells, I have had to shoot spears. I love to shoot spears. Great. They do the Mirror Pond Pale Ale. Is that them? And then they have a porter that is just delicious. That is so incredible of you, Manu. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Awesome. I love that. Nobody needs to do that, and people just do it anyway, and it's so cool. First of all, sorry to hear that he just passed at 100, but to make it for a century is incredible by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact that he learned to play it when he was in his 80s is how I want to be in my life. I never understand why people quit trying to learn. There's always some neat thing that you've always wanted to do, and you may not have ever done it. And as long as you're trying to do it, you've never failed, right? I mean, it's super cool. I am one of these people that just believes if I find something interesting, I'm like, I got to learn how to do that. It's a curiosity thing, and it's a challenging thing. I challenge myself and keep myself challenged, and I think that is awesome. Julian. Yeah, I think I have the underactive thyroid. I don't know which one that is. Again, so that would be hypo, I guess, because hyper sounds to me like it means it goes the other way. Works too much. Kristen, you want some Alaskan salmon? So does everybody. Everybody wants Alaskan salmon. Declan, you made it. Awesome, my friend. Do I have morels up in Alaska? Yes, we have morels. Do I hunt for them? Yes, I do. The last 3 years in a row, I've hunted for morels. So far, it's morels 1, Sean 0. I keep going to the wrong places with the wrong people, but this year I have joined a Facebook morel hunting group locally, and I'm going to get morel mushrooms. So we do have morels up here. Your mom has shared pictures of the ones that she gets, and she can find them everywhere. I mean, I could see a wild animal anywhere. I can't find a mushroom to save my life. It drives me crazy. I can find every mushroom but the one I'm looking for. Thank you very much, Liz. I appreciate that. Ward, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Mike was busy draining water off my driveway. So we go. I mean, if you want to gauge the season, the end of the winter to the official real spring in Alaska, we go through shoveling the ice or shoveling the snow to moving the ice to draining the water. Because that's what I was doing out here, was draining a bunch of, running that track down by the barbecue area and the solar panels so the water had a place to go. Remy at Rem's Family Farm. I'm actually going to be with Rem's Family Farm as well on Good Friday. I think he said the 15th, unless those plans have changed. He hasn't told me they have. But we're going to be hanging out for a bit on his channel as well, which is super cool, right? Time to make the donuts. Dude, Ward just woke up. He power napped today. Now Lisa wants a donut. Look at buying zip sheeting for my walls and the roof. I will. I'll look at it. Is that the water, the weatherproof stuff that I think MBF Off Grid, well, I know they did. They bought some special sheeting, a special OSB on their floor that's guaranteed in any kind of weather, and it took them the entire winter to get a floor on. So it had rain on it, had ice on it, had snow on it, and Jeremy at MBF Off Grid actually stated, he goes, hey, now that the roof's on, he goes, there is not, even at the seams, there is not one piece, not one bubble or bump in that floor. And he said it was like $5 more a sheet, but well worth every bit of it. Oh, I know, right, Mary? 1965, 69, filled up our. My dad used to send me to the gas station with a gallon can and 50 cents and tell me I better bring home the change. Because it was at the time 28 cents a gallon, and I'm talking 1970, yeah, maybe 1970. Crazy cheap. Gil, have fun with the grandson, most definitely. Go play with the family. They're always more important, always. Yvonne, glad you can make it. Awesome to have you here. Doing good. Hope you're doing well. Oh, speaking of the devil, I didn't even realize you guys were in here. Right on. Awesome to see you guys as always. Fantastic that you can jump in. Somebody post a link for them because they are a fantastic family doing awesome stuff, and they're just getting into their maple syrup harvest. And I'm jealous because we don't have maple trees in Alaska. Because if we did, I would be doing that. But yeah, awesome people. You're coming to Fairbanks in June. The only problem with that is Fairbanks is 7 hours away from me. I mean, it's a long drive. No, man, just bring yourself and enjoy yourself while you're in what they call the Great Land. That is, Fairbanks is gorgeous in the summer. It's just incredible. If you get a chance, check out the Blue Loon and see one of their live concerts that happen at night up there. And by night, I mean at midnight, it will still be sunny. It's incredible up there. There we go. Black Butte Porter was the other one. Nice. I haven't had their Neon Dream Pale Ale. I do. I'm an IPA guy. I'm a Pale Ale guy. Big time. Jolie Pettit. Awesome. Right? I have to be one with them. So what do? Do I go, I am one with the mushroom? Holy smokes. 50 minutes already flown by. That's crazy. Sean, I need a shed to store my tools in out of the weather. On our property, we have a 20-foot. Yeah, I was thinking of picking up a container. My problem is I think they're ugly. So instead, I'll just have to build a shed. I'm going to actually have to build a barn for everything. But I'm going to need a barn in the future, I think, anyway, for some of the livestock plans I have going on. But yeah, I definitely need something to keep everything out. A sea can, Julian, is one of the big metal containers that you'll see. They say Sea Land on the side of them sometimes, or Maersk is another one, where they basically they stack them up on ships and they haul them to the port where they're going to go, and then they pick them up off a crane and they sit right on the wheels of a tractor trailer, and they haul them that way so that once they're loaded, they can be shipped anywhere in the world. I'm anxious to see me sitting by a warm fire. Exactly right. I'm anxious to see that too. I'm anxious to see a lot of things this next year. It's going to be pretty darn incredible. I really think it's going to be pretty exciting. Leslie, my dad died 12 years ago at 89. He'd be 102 today. He had a photographic memory up until his last year. He read books every day. See, that's so cool. I listen to audiobooks because I have to, everywhere I go up here, it seems like it takes an hour to get to. So I've always got that on instead of the radio. But I'm always trying to learn something. I just think that's the awesome way to be. That is the awesome way to be. Yeah, that's weather coding outside. What Jeremy put down was OSB, but they used a new version of the glue. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Nice. Kristen just bought a new Dodge 3500 diesel. Yeah, right. Oh, diesel prices are ridiculous. They are crazy. They are crazy. Should I get you video of the Northern Lights? I did not get video of the Northern Lights. We had an epic Northern Lights show up here in Alaska in the last week, and I had the camera set up and ready to go. Unfortunately, we had clouds too. That means you can't see the Northern Lights. So missed it, but we'll have more. That's one thing that's nice about living in Alaska is that the Northern Lights shows come back every year. Welcome back, David. Glad you could make it back in again. Yeah, it's a shipping container. You have a 40-foot one? Yeah, they're shipping containers. And my cousin, Tony, lives in Arizona, and he owns a refrigeration company down there. But he has a piece of property up in some mountains in Arizona, like way up. And he bought shipping containers, and his plan is to build an entire house out of shipping containers. So it'll be kind of cool to see what he does. But he's 100% off the grid on that property up there. I'm getting ready to make that move, I think, eventually. But he's a little more well off, we'll say, than I am. So he can actually afford to buy the entire system when it comes to solar and install it. And he, being in the trades, he's got a ton of other people in the trades that will come out and work with him, which is awesome. Deborah's barn is a 10 by 16 pre-built shed. Paid $2,000 for it 6 years ago. Oh, nice. See, that's perfect. That's perfect. And Charles, that explains why my phone just went buzz. I must have gotten that email. Very cool. We got about 5 minutes left, folks. Anybody got anything pressing they want to ask? Anything that they want to see in an upcoming video? Any comments or questions about anything that I'm doing? More than happy to answer them for you. MKP, how are you? Getting ready to move back to the lower 48 this summer. Going to miss Alaska fishing. Exactly, right? The good thing is, though, you can always come back up and visit, right? And I hope you're ending up somewhere in the lower 48 with wilderness still that you can get off to, because I think that was the one thing I missed the most when I left Alaska the first time and came back. I went from Alaska to Houston, Texas, and while Texas is a beautiful state, there's no wilderness. So I had to, when I finally moved back to California to be closer to the kids, I moved back up to the Sierra Nevada mountains, and that was the wilderness was an hour away. That was fine. I could deal with that. As late as mid-May, yeah. The problem is, and Rich, you know this, but a lot of other people don't, is right now the sun's not setting until probably, it doesn't get dark till 9:30 at night. I mean, dark. So as we get closer and closer to that summer, we have a shorter window every single day to be able to see it. Eventually, I'll be driving to work at 3:30 in the morning. It'll be daylight. So unless you're in that small window and they're happening right then, you can't see them, and that's the biggest bummer. You did well. You did absolutely well, man. Not a problem at all. That's for Mary. What animals will I get next? I think if I can get everything organized and done that I want to get situated this year, which is to get into the cabin, then next year I'll probably get a couple of pigs. Pork chops, ham, sausage, salamis, pepperonis, bacon, all that fun stuff that I can do myself. So a couple of pigs will be in the works for next week. Karen asking about the eagles. I didn't see them today because we're at that time of the year where there's a lot of game for them to get. So while they still come back to that spot 2 or 3 times a week, it'll be harder and harder to see them. I see them every day flying high, but never really as good as I saw them earlier when I got those pictures in last week's video or in Friday's video. They were awesome. I had some really close-up shots there. Deborah wants to know about the generator. It's a Westinghouse, a WestGen 7500 9500 gas generator. They make a dual fuel version as well that works off of propane, but I love it. It's got a remote start, right? I've got the button for the remote start right here, so I can start it in the winter from being inside, and it will hook up to a charge controller. So the charge controller will send the remote start signal if I'm not getting enough solar input into the batteries when I get the system built. It's a beautiful generator. Okay, Chris Harbors, off-grid in Wales, has built a wind turbine. I thought about wind. Unfortunately, I don't have enough in my location to make it worthwhile. I mean, I might play with it down the road, but there's not enough constant wind. If I was over towards Kenai, there's a lot more wind every day, all the time, and it would justify it, but it doesn't really justify it, an investment in wind power right now. Yeah. Unless you're young enough to live off grid, dude, I'll be 60 years old in May. But it is expensive here, but when you compare it to where I'm from in California, it's cheaper here than it was in California. Real estate's cheaper, gas is cheaper. The only thing that's not cheaper here on a regular basis is fresh produce, and the quality's not that great. But you can garden here too. So, yep, Karen saw that. I posted it and tagged her in it. She was like one of the first people that went, "Thank you." Are those pig names or future food items? Those are pig names. That's actually the names. It'd be hammer and bacon. So then I can decide if I want hammer bacon that day. Any wild animals in my area? And I'll go out with this question because we're getting to the end anyway. Yes. So next week's video will have 5 mooses. I'm driving into town. I have moose. I have brown bears, which are more commonly known as grizzly bears. I have lynx, which I have seen on multiple occasions. We have fox. We have marmot. We have mink. We have ermine. We have wolves. We have coyotes, but no big cats. Lynx, or imagine like what's the name of the cat? The Maine Coon. Lynx are like kind of like a bigger Maine Coon with a bobtail. But yeah, that's pretty much the gamut of what we have for wild animals, and a lot of them, right? A lot of them. All right, guys, that'll do it for this week. Thank you for joining me. As always, I'm Sean in Alaska. I hope you have an incredibly good week. If you want to check me out again with some more pretty much nothing but questions and answers, it'll be tomorrow at North Shore Prep Center, my buddy Sean's live chat. Go to sign up on the Facebook page to become a member of Sean in Alaska on Facebook. It's usually down in my description. There'll be a link for it. And you'll find out where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing later on. And I share pictures there that sometimes I don't even put in videos. Have a great week, guys. I'll talk to you all later. See ya. Bye-bye.